Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Welcome to the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 32, coming to you from the desolate wastelands of Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're recording on September 30th, and I'm your host, Elric. With me tonight are
Bill Costello
and James Tapia.
So we're back.
Back.
Don't call it a comeback. We've only been gone for, a couple months.
It wasn't my fault. Oh, wait. Yes, It was.
Damn it, Bill.
In answer to that, I do have to apologize to everyone. I was called away on business at a moment's notice kind of thing, and I left these guys in the lurch. I have all the recording equipment, so it wasn't like they could just grab it and do a show in the interim. So I apologize. My fault.
Yeah, in the days of recording podcasts on your iPhone and uploading them with no editing. I think that's so 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's so 2016.
Yeah, we didn't want to do that. We figured we'd wait, make sure that we still drop quality, or shows at this level of efficiency.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're quality, but
I'd like to think
quality is such a strong word.
That's true. Yeah.
So on tonight's show, a lot of stuff we're going to go over. We're not going to do like a 2-month recap of everything that's happened, but
that'd be a waste of everyone's time.
We'll talk about some of the stuff that has come out, what we have been up to in the hobby, which is surprisingly little in 2 months, and some kind of big topic.
There's a book that came out that has some pluses and some minuses.
Yeah.
So,
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a show.
All right, let's do. The Realm of the New Dawn, where we're going to talk about a myriad of things that came out for AOS in the last 6-8 weeks, which really isn't all that much when you really get down to it.
Yeah.
Because we did get the open war cards.
Yep.
Which are super cool.
I have not had a chance to look at those yet.
They're very well. It's the open war deck for 40k.
Right. Ported over, which is what we all wanted.
AOS. Yeah, and it just gives you that ability to throw down a scenario, and a lot of times it's what you need. It really is when you're tired of playing the book pitched battle missions all the flipping time, or you don't want to play pitched battle at all, they're a great go-to source for that. So those are super cool. Well, let's go to Blight War next, because Blight War came out last weekend, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, at the same time, I think it's a product in search of a solution, but it's also a really cool box.
Well, I like it because it's essentially another starter box.
It is, and that's where it becomes very cool. Is it's a starter set,
and I like that because what if you don't want to play Bloodbound?
Yeah,
or you already have, I don't want to say like an older Stormcast army, but you have some of that first run stuff, the Liberators, Judicators, stuff like that, and you don't have a lot of these cool new Vanguard,
the new hotnesses,
chamber stuff, and that's all in there, and you can definitely find somebody to split it with who wants Nurgle. I mean,
sure,
those models are fantastic. I don't even like Nurgle that much, and
they're brilliant.
Great. Same thing with the 40k counterparts.
Oh, God, yes.
It's just fantastic what they've done to make Nurgle look appealing.
Nurgling?
Yeah.
They look nurgly.
Definitely Nurgly.
Yeah,
definitely. Yes,
they're not so much clowny anymore as they are, but they're not overly disgusting either. So they struck that perfect balance of these are rot and these are corruption, but they don't have to be sickening.
Yeah, so. But they do have like hints of like the little Nurglings wearing helmets on the bases, and there's still little bits of that that make it Nurgle and grimdark as opposed to just everything is skulls and blood, but not corn. You know what I mean? Like it's very easy to make it all. I don't know how to. Well, I'm saying that the Nurgle stuff out now feels like it fits the entire theme of both Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40k, but still has the essence of Nurgle.
Mm-hmm.
I should say.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm saying.
That's they captured that great middle ground between overly clowny and comical, and just overly gross.
They don't look like orcs.
No. So yeah, they're quite cool, and I really believe that Blight War set. I don't know. I think it came out at a weird time. I don't know what it is, but you don't hear that much about it But it really is a great box set. It really, and like you said, it's great for bringing people into the game. It's a great starter set. The book in there covers in a few pages the Realm Gate Wars all the way up through Nurgle fighting in the Realm of Life. And then it sort of picks up where he gives up on the Realm of Life because he kind of lost that one when Elariel got
reborn.
I don't know, just sort of, she went and hit the leg room. But,
well, I don't know. I think you still hear a lot. What you hear about is that Slimix, right?
Yeah.
That's his name.
Yeah, Slimix in mulch. Yeah, it's an amazing model. Just beautiful.
Fantastic. And then I also like...
Knave Black.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, the female Stormcast.
Stormcast.
So hyped about that. And then the female that's in... Shakespeare, yeah.
I think I'm going to try to pick up a whole bunch of those and convert to...
I would wait.
Stormcast.
Give it a few more months and maybe they'll come out with like... Maybe not a Liberator
unit
kit that is, a female version, but they may do like a whole chamber. How cool would it be to have like a Valkyrie themed chamber? It's just like all these badass women, that Sigmar's been holding on to deliver like a sick sucker punch.
So he like releases his army of concubines and says,
I don't know about concubines, but you could very easily do a chamber that is themed around warrior women.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
You have so many to pick from, like you said, Valkyries, Amazon, whatever you want to go to, whatever kind of theme you want to pick up.
Well, yeah, that could be who they're drawn from. So you could have like Norse style Valkyrie women from the realms of, I don't know, beasts, and then big ass Amazonian Wonder Women chicks from the realm of life and
life.
All kinds of crazy.
Yeah, you can go crazy with it.
Yeah.
What I wonder is why not just do an upgrade sprue? Because all you really have to do, technically, all you have to redo is the breastplate to make it a little more womanly.
Well, I think
some heads.
I think I was looking at her legs. They're a little bit. They're the same style, but they're just a little bit smaller.
They are thinner.
I mean, they could release like instead of doing like a whole unit, really like they did how they released. 2 Retributors, 2 Liberators to fill out your starter set.
Yep.
Maybe if they gave you like a mix of like 2 female Retributors, 2 female Liberators, 2 female Prosecutors, and like a big set. That way you can mix it in with your
mix it in with the other ones.
With the other ones.
Female Lord Celestin on Drakov.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Big old
I mean, it's I think they really hit a great mix with her model. It's not overtly female, it's not like she's in a chain bikini.
Not Red Sonja.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like, hi, I'm the Stormcast who wears a chain thong.
And here's Vampirilla leading
my. But I mean, she looks like a female Stormcast. She looks everything that you would think.
Yeah.
Would really good job of modeling that, molding and modeling that. So yeah, it's really they're going places with that. So it really is a good set. I think it's. Like I said, I thought it was a product in search of a solution or a problem somewhere, but really it does fit a whole bunch of different things, and it's the sprues are absolutely brilliant, and the campaign's cool.
I really like the idea of having multiple starters available because they're great ways to get into the game.
Yep,
it always drives me nuts. Like, what if I don't want to play Space Marines?
Yeah,
and it's like, but I want to play. I don't know. I guess. Last few 40K boxes have been Space Marines versus Space Marines, but at one point it was Space Marines and Dark Eldar, and it's like, it's always Marines. And I get, they sell well, they have mass appeal and stuff, but it'd be nice to have an alternative. Do the Space Marine one or do the Stormcast one, and then do like, I don't know, Iron Jaws and,
you could actually sell a box that was Iron Jaws versus
Pirate Undead or whatever.
Or something. Yeah, or Undead.
Yeah, Zinch.
You could sell a box.
That would be like Space Marines and Dark Eldar again.
Oh, yeah.
This is so much fun. Anyways.
Yes, sir.
Does it feel like a weird stopgap for this and the Nurgle Battle Tome supposedly coming out? Does it feel like, I don't know, it just feels kind of weird to me. Like, we're going to give you a little bit here, but... Yeah.
Oh, I think
it'd be nice just if they're doing a Nurgle book to just drop it all
at the same time. Yeah,
yeah, I get that.
I think they're actually going to come out with a few more models for the Sigmar Nurgle line. And this was just a teaser. This was just a, we all knew that the minute 8th edition 40K was announced that the rest of the year was going to be a wash for us in the AOS community. We knew that. We knew the handbook was coming. So anything that we got, I think, was a bonus. And I think this was in the works and it was ready to go. And it's a stopgap to hold us over until January, February, when new stuff can start rolling out.
Yeah.
And it's good. I mean, like I said, at first I thought, this is such a weird product. But then when you think about it, it really does, it fits a lot of things, especially if they're going to start up a new campaign. Firestorm. If they're going to start up a whole new campaign kind of idea with ongoing things, I think we're going to see more stuff like Blight War, except maybe next time it's going to be, maybe it will be chaos on chaos. Maybe it will be Khorne against Nurgle or something.
Death and destruction.
Yeah, so.
If only.
So, and since we sort of did a weird segue there, was hoping to have Firestorm today.
Yeah.
But it didn't quite.
Our favorite local game store loves to never get stuff on time.
Yeah. We'll blame Hurricane. What was the most recent one?
Yeah. Insert.
Okay.
Any name here.
Female name here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Harvey's a male.
Okay, so anyhow, yeah, Firestorm should have been here, but again, we're looking at a really crazy cool campaign setting. Don't want to talk about it too much since we don't have it in our hands.
Yeah. Well, and there's some other shows. I know Gary and Andy did a review of it on Age of Sigmar. Yeah. And I'm sure that I'm way behind in my podcast queue at the moment, but I'm sure other places that like to get their stuff, weeks in advance for reviews, they're doing reviews of it, but I'm super hyped to do it. We got a couple guys here that are really into the more narrative, open play, narrative play style of the game. So, this is hopefully something that will scratch that itch for all of us for a while.
Yep.
Because I know Skirmish and, Path to Glory are things that kind of did it, but there's not as much longevity. I mean, it's cool to keep playing games of Skirmish, but it's cooler to have like a story that runs along with it over the course of a few weeks.
And I think that's where Firestorm is beautiful because it has that built into it, where if you don't want to play a 2,000 point pitch battle, you can play a skirmish game and it counts. It works into the storyline there. So, I think that's going to fit all those little niches that you want. So, and I think it's a really brilliant idea to tie all the different product lines together, because you can play a Path to Glory campaign in the Firestorm setting. You can have that going side by side, growing and moving along as you do, as long as everyone agrees. As well as, like you said, you can play skirmish. You can play just, a 2,000 point, a 1,000 point pitched battle. You can do all those things.
Yeah.
So,
the other
good thing.
Big release is the General's Handbook, right?
No.
Is there anything else?
Yes, the number one release, the best thing that's come out. And I'll tell you why here in a minute. And I think everybody's missed it.
Oh.
The GW Paint app.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I haven't really explored it too much, but from what I have seen, it's like basically taking all the Duncan videos and, actually, this would be even cooler, but it feels like taking all that knowledge and putting it in one place.
No, it's like taking Duncan and putting him in your pocket. Not the videos, Duncan. I mean, if you haven't played with it yet, it's amazing. Not only does it have, all their standard formulas and how to do it and what colors to use to achieve all the different effects that you've seen, as well as it has models in it. And as you bring up a model, you can click on the part, point to the parts, and it shows you what paints they use to achieve that part. Now, they don't have every model in the range yet, but they have quite a few, and most of them are representative examples. They don't have everything in the Nurgle army, but they have a Poxwalker, and they have a Blight King, and they have the things that you would need to get the idea you might be doing this guy, but this other one applies. And they've really hit a great thing there. But what I'm getting at with the paint app, of course, it has the inventory, so you can see what paints you have and which ones you have to go buy, because I don't know how many times I've gone and bought
the same
paint at the store and said, I've got 6 bottles of this now.
But then you didn't have the paint
that I needed.
Yeah, that you needed because you thought you had it at home.
Because I was getting a blue. What was that blue? Was it Hoeth or Emre? I don't know. I just got it. Yeah, and it's the wrong one. So, but what's killing me about the paint app, and there's also a function on the paint app I wanted to hit this too, is you can use your camera And you can hold it up to anything at all, and hit the button, and it will tell you what colors to use to achieve that effect.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So you hold it up to your mom's vase that has her flowers on the dining room table, and it will tell you how to paint that. It's
nice.
Flipping amazing. But what kills me about that app, slays me, is the amount of work that went into it. Because for every mix of paint, and there's hundreds and hundreds in there, they painted a backpack, a Space Marine backpack in that scheme.
Right.
To show you what it would come out like. And they also did it whether you use layering or dry brushing. So for every formula that's in the app, they had to paint 2 backpacks.
Yeah.
So just think about, not only did someone have to come up with all those paint formulas and all those paint mixtures, someone had to paint every one of those backpacks, take a picture of it. So you're talking about massive amounts of overhead time for these people at GW, and they released it for free.
Yeah.
This is one of those apps that if they said, hey, give me, $5.99 for this, I would jump in with both feet. Instead, they give it out for free. And I think that's something that people are not capturing so much, is how much work went into that, and they're giving it to you for nothing.
Yeah, it really feels like they are trying to make the hobby aspect of the hobby as accessible as possible.
Yes.
Right? Like, and even the gaming, because, with the Warhammer TV, you can sit there and watch competitive games and learn from them. They break them down and stuff like that. So it really feels like they are trying to make all of it as user-friendly and readily available as possible.
And it's how they're continuing to crush the other miniatures games companies that are out there. Definitely. Because, you look at the other big fish, you look at like Privateer Press, and they've just recently started doing these painting videos.
Yeah.
And
we've talked about.
Yeah, comparing the two production qualities. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the Privateer Press painters. They are amazing.
Sure.
The problem is they're jumping straight into techniques that most people, even following the video, are going to be like, mine doesn't look like that. Not even close.
To be fair, if you just picked up a paintbrush, there's a good chance your stuff won't match Duncan's.
Won't look like Duncan's either, but at least this is a little bit more accessible.
Sure.
Than, painting these amazing highlights on a Sigmar Warjack. And Dallas Kemp is an amazing painter. He's really good, and he's real good at explaining it, but the video doesn't do it real justice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the idea that the paint app went out there for free was something that blew me away. Just the amount of work. Now, I mean, once they had the paint database all done, it was a simple matter of plugging in the colors for each different formula. But painting the backpacks and taking the pictures and doing all the other work, huge amount of work, man hours that were dedicated to this, that they're throwing away. They are literally throwing away because they're not charging for the app. Are they, though?
The thing is, you already got guys that are going to be painting all day anyways, regardless. And if you make something...
backpacks?
I bet you it doesn't take that long.
No, it doesn't.
To crank through those backpacks.
Not the way they do it. No.
And then, by releasing this app, if you can get more people to buy GW paints because they see how easy it is to get those results.
Oh, they're not doing it to be wonderful. They're doing it to prompt sales.
Well, they are, but there is...
But it's achieving 2 goals.
Yes. It's 2 birds with 1 app.
Yeah.
So...
It's brilliant. I wanted to hit that before we moved on.
If I could, though...
Certainly.
I don't know how viable it would be to embed links at the very least to the YouTube videos they've done. Oh, they're already there?
Most of the a lot of the videos are in there, and there's call outs to some of the other ones. Now, it's not like to every YouTube video,
right?
But Duncan does go through, there's a bunch of different videos in there that are embedded. Okay. And some of them are actually linked out to the YouTube video so that the app isn't, 5,000 gigabytes.
Are you fact checking that, James? I didn't know it was in there.
I didn't know they were in there either.
Oh.
Where? Oh, you hit the little eye next to the color.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Fair enough. Sweet, then. Well done.
Maybe they make that a little bit more accessible.
Yeah, it's not always the easiest, but it's there, and...
Well played, GW.
Yeah, they do a really good job.
All right, now can we move on to GHB 2017?
I'm not really impressed with it, so no. Okay.
What is it, game-changing again?
Did it really, though?
talk about it in lore.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yes, the General's Handbook is going to be our lore topic. So yeah, we will get to it. Although, did you want to cover the contents of the Warlord Edition? Because that was actually pretty cool.
No, Bill. The regular peons didn't get any of those. How about you cover the contents of your edition that you got because you buy these silly things?
Well, sure. Let me just do that for you. Okay, the biggest things in here, I thought, in the Warlord Edition, and I really think it's still available, and people should go out and grab them. If nothing else, for the scenarios on the cards, which are really kind of cool, because they have all the scenarios from the GHB 2017 printed up in just little handy cards, and then you have the victory point tracker and the turn number tracker, which are very cool. You know, none of this stuff is gotta-haves, but they're nice-to-haves.
Sure.
And then the other thing they have is the cards for Triumph and Treachery, and the cards for Coalition of Death. And then the biggest thing that I thought makes this all worthwhile, you know those Triumphs that you never use and you never remember?
Yeah.
Because
there they are.
Cards for the Triumphs.
Nice.
So
now you could feel even stupider for forgetting them because you had a card in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, yeah, it's a real... And then, of course, it comes with a pad of 50 roster sheets, which in my video I talk about how it's kind of silly, but whatever. But, yeah, the Warlord Edition is very cool. I have to admit, it's very cool. Just for the extra silly stuff that you get. The cards are very handy. The counters are very cool.
I wonder if they'll put this stuff out. Especially the cards. I mean, these counters are cool, but... what would be awesome to actually see it made available is
the cards, yeah.
Some of these cards, yeah, for sure.
And the counters I have seen other people doing, you know, out of MDF and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know, other materials. So, I think you'll see more player aids like that coming out. But that's really kind of all we're going to cover in New Dawn. We're not even going to broach the 40K stuff because that would take like another 2 days.
Yeah, it's... Yeah. What, Death Guard... Astra Militarum comes out next week. It just went on pre-order today.
Astra Militarum, they've announced AdMech.
AdMech.
AdMech is out today, isn't it?
No, it was out last week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Jeez, I don't even remember what all is.
Primaris flavor of the week.
Pretty much like everything but Space Marines.
Yeah, I think
Space Marines were the only thing that had come out.
Did not come out this week.
Yeah, well, no, since the last time we recorded.
Yeah.
I think Space Marines are the only book that was out.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and then Eldar and Tyranids are right behind Astra Militarum.
Orcs should be coming before Christmas, I would think.
I would hope.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. So.
It's
a golden age for 40K, that's for
sure. Especially if you like the Death Guard.
Yeah. All right, so we ready to move on to creation?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, I'm going to go create something.
What?
That did not sound good.
Oh, no.
The realm of creation, where we're going to talk what we've been in the hobby lately. Elric?
So I've been doing a little bit of stuff. I built some Fire Slayers. I have a decent little force together, like over 100 points for skirmish.
Nice.
I'm working it, trying to make it bigger, but with this little 40K project that we got coming up, it's gonna be a slow grow. Then I have been building terrain, GW terrain, in fact.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Would you like to share?
So I built a couple of realm gates, and those, weren't too bad. And then I built a Ophidian archway, and that is without a doubt the worst kit from Games Workshop that I have ever had the displeasure of building.
You need to grab some Numinous Oculums.
Yeah, that's exactly what Twitter said. So that's next on the docket. Yeah, I just kind of want to say, and this has kind of been covered before, but by other shows and other people online, but the GW terrain, both the 40K and the AOS stuff, is fantastic. Well, it looks fantastic when it's done. It's stuff that we want because it has such a unique feel to it. It makes you feel like you're playing in the Mortal Realms, or you're playing on a Forge world or a Hive world or whatever. It looks so good on the table. But damn it, it is not good quality stuff. And it's really expensive. And I feel like Games Workshop should almost be embarrassed by the quality of the stuff that they're putting out here. How can you put out a kit like Archeon or Elric or Gordrak, these huge, intricate kits that go together so well, look so beautiful, and then the same I know it's not the same company making them.
Right.
But it's the same name on the box, and so you're just as responsible for the quality of it.
Yeah.
And it's not anywhere near the same. It is almost inexcusably bad.
Right.
How this stuff is, and how much extra work I have to put into making your stuff look good. That is,
well, not even good, tolerable.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because I know I did a couple of those for the Rolling Bad Rumble. I did the Oculum, or I did 2 Oculums and an Archway, and yeah, they're enough to make you question why you're there. And it's the Hellfort was no better. It's that same cheap. You flip around, you look at some of the other 40K terrain. All that the Ferrotonic furnace and all the stuff that came out for Shadow War Armageddon.
Yeah,
all that stuff's brilliant. It's
I haven't experienced putting that 40K stuff together.
It's honest to God, flagship company stuff.
But this has been an issue for a long time because the old Witch Fate Tour and that other giant tower, I have it at home, I can't remember what it's called, were also buildings that didn't go together for crap. And
terrible.
Come on, get this figured out. You can make the stuff in China if you want, but there's factories that make iPhones. So obviously they can put together quality stuff over there. Why not find another company that can inject these molds better and put out better stuff? That's not, the Archway that I put together finally got the whole damn thing together and was putting in the last bit, which is the walkway. Mm-hmm. And then I noticed the entire kit was warped.
Right.
So it doesn't even look right.
And that plastic is so hard, you can't heat it up and sort of maneuver it back into place. You can't do that. It's just, ugh. And it really isn't worth the effort either.
No.
So
I hate to, I don't want to sound like whiny or anything, but come on, get it together. This is ridiculous.
Well, when everything's an F-150, you're really going to give me a Pinto?
Right.
I don't understand.
For the cost of the F-150.
Yeah, for the same cost as the F-150, you're giving me... It's just strange that they would be so, like you said, at such a high level with 98% of their kits.
Right.
And then so far below any other manufacturer's junk with 2% of the stuff.
Do you really want your kits to be on par with Mantic?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on. It might be a low blow, but it's real. It's real out here.
Yeah, we're keeping it real, babies. So,
all right. Anyway, that's what I've been up to, and I'm slowly moving into once I get these guys stripped, these Fire Slayers stripped, I'm gonna get them primed up and break out a paintbrush. So beware.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that's right. I'm doing it.
All right.
I can paint. I don't have to have James do it all. Damn it. I can paint.
Doesn't this sound very familiar to when he started the KO?
Yeah. I'm going to be doing these. I'll be doing these.
Yeah, but I'm not painting my Fire Slayers all like bronze and everything. That'll break you as a person. Anyways, enough of my crap. What have you been up to?
Me? Let me see. Since I've been back, I bought a whole bunch of the terrain from Frontline Gaming, Reese and Frankie's place. Right. I bought Necron terrain for my 40K stuff, and I just built 2 of the towers. They actually go together really, really awesome. They are really great. High quality. They're MDF. They're wood. Right. They're MDF kits. But they go together really, really nice. They have a great look to them. I like them. It's, so far, they're just gorgeous. They're just gorgeous. So, and a lot of possibilities with them, too, because I was going to light them from the inside. Mm-hmm. I'm only going to light the one big, tall one. Yeah, the Necron terrain is very, very cool, and I have no reason to believe that all their other sets wouldn't be real cool. I have built and primed all of the Nurgle stuff from 2 full sets of the Dark Imperium box, but that's for another project that we'll announce here shortly.
We'll get into that eventually.
And then my little special purpose project for the last week, I did a couple of slimy pools for Nurgle terrain for 40K. The old GW kit, the craters, I forgot what they called them. They're like some kind of blast craters. they came in halves. Each one was a half, and you had to put them together in different ways to make them look good. So I put a couple of them together normal, and then I took another one and put 3 of them together to make a weird, bigger pool. And then I used some acrylic to make them all slimy and green, and just had some fun, and was just knocking around. I'll be doing a YouTube video or something on it. I might put a post on our super secret thing. That's all I've been doing.
Nice. James?
Let's see, what have I been doing? Jules is going to start Stormcast up, so I've been helping him with that.
Nice.
Yay.
Nice. No more snakes.
No more snakes.
I'm down with that.
And then I've been I went through all my stuff and putting together the armies that I have for, I know we mentioned the YouTube channel. We were going to do battle reports a while back, but I'm starting that back up for sure. Just trying to get some variety there. So I've been putting together some Slaves to Darkness.
So you're going to spice up your chaos with more chaos?
Yeah.
So you have more chaos?
More chaos.
Not even more chaos, more Zinch.
More Zinch, yeah.
Yeah. That's
it's
the
a
best part.
Zinch list. Zinch Allegiance with all Slaves of Darkness.
Zinch.
With every chosen formation. Yeah.
Yeah, good
good.
times.
Are there any Zinch units in that army?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all Zinch, technically.
All the Zinch Slaves of Darkness.
Okay.
Yeah.
If anyone is just seeing 9 Destiny dice floating in the air in front of James, yes, that's true. Yep. That's why we're here.
So, just trying to put together different power levels. That way everything's not 12 and 18 Skyfires and Stormcast Eternals.
Fair enough.
But, yeah, that's all I've been working on.
Been painting any of those Overlords?
No, not yet.
Painting up the rest of those Iron Jaws?
No, not yet. You're not going to any tournaments anytime soon.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, there's no 2-week pressure. What's the point of painting without getting in a van and doing it?
Yeah, I think that's
about it. Yeah.
Pretty quick. Like I said, even though we've been gone for 2 months, not a whole lot.
Let's move into battle.
The Realm of Battle, where this time we're going to talk a little bit about some of the games we've played, which haven't been a whole lot, but we also want to use this as an opportunity to talk about the First Blood GT, which is going to be happening in Denver. We just kind of want to give them a little promotion and help our brothers up to the north get their events going, because before Age of Sigmar dropped, Denver was a pretty good place to get some GT action going on, and seeing as though that's like one of the closest cities for us, be nice. But real quick to recap, because it's been a while, the last show we did came out. We recorded it this Saturday at Slobberknocker. The winner of the Slobberknocker GT was Andrew, and then a couple weeks later we had the Rolling Bad Rumble, and Andrew won that. And now to move on to things that people actually care about. No, actually, real quick, I just remembered this. My last game at Slobberknocker.
Oh,
I feel like I have to give my side of the story because the other side has been floating around for a little while. And for those of you who don't know, I got to play the esteemed Tyler Emerson, Game 5 at the Slobberknocker with his horribly underpowered, susceptible to mortal wounds Sylvanath. And
I can't even comment right now.
So this game, we deployed, or well, I should say I deployed. And then Tyler took about an hour and a half to think about deploying. And then,
once this is on the internet, you can't take it back.
I know. I don't care. Fearless. You only YOLO once. So, anyways, it was a good game. It was actually a really good game, and I'm super happy. I was hoping that we would get a chance to play Game 5. I was really looking forward to it. And when the drawings went up, and I saw that I was playing Tyler, I was like, "Oh man, this is perfect. It's a win-win for me because either he crushes me with Sylvanath, proving my point, or I beat him, probably get a cheeky podium, and with Iron Jaws against Tyler's army. But he stomped me. He threw me down on the ground and kicked me repeatedly, even after I gave him my lunch money, and said all kinds of slurs about my mother like we were on Xbox Live. That's how this game went.
Tyler, I'm ashamed.
Yeah. Oh, it was a side of Tyler you don't hear while he's playing that classical music. All right? He's a savage in real life, ladies and gentlemen. An unrelenting savage. And I'll never be the same again.
Just show me on the Archeon model where he touched you.
Everywhere. Everywhere. And he doesn't care about safe words either. No, I'm just kidding. It was a really fun game. Especially the 15 minutes that it took him to smash me after spending 2 hours figuring out that he wanted to play. So I just wanted to use this as an opportunity to give my side of the story. So there's two sides to every story at least, right? You know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so now that I feel a little better.
Okay. So real quick, I just want to cover real quick the First Blood coming up in Denver. It's going to be November 18th and 19th at the Douglas County Fairgrounds, Kirk Hall, and that's in Castle Rock, Colorado, so it's just south of Denver. But it's not so far south that if you get a hotel in Denver, you're fine.
Yeah, it's a couple minutes away.
It's like Boulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just talking about a little bit down the highway. As of today, this recording, the price has gone up to $50. The early bird price was $35, but now tickets are going on sale for $50. You can, their website is firstbloodgt.blogspot.com. I'll put it in the show notes so that everybody can just click to it if you want to. So it looks like it's going to be a good time, and they've got pretty good turnout so far.
Yeah, I think they have 29 signed up.
Something like that, yeah.
So, and I know we used to go to these all the time in 8th edition as a group, and they know how to throw a pretty good GT.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I really wish I will not be able to make this one, unfortunately.
Right.
But we do have a few gentlemen going up, including James and
I'm planning on going up. I think Andrew is.
No, Andrew can't make it.
Oh,
either.
that's right. Yeah. Duh.
me, Jules,
I'll be going.
Bill,
Ryan
will
Chad
go.
going?
No, Chad's a Nancy that won't
Okay.
commit to anything.
Gotcha. So, but anyway,
he's too busy dodging chemtrails.
Well, those tinfoil hats, they
right?
get uncomfortable after a while. So, anyway, back to more battle.
Yeah, so we're not going to go over like all the games we played in the last 2 months, even though there really haven't been that many of them. But I did want to touch on briefly some of the stuff I've been doing. Actually, the only thing I've been doing is I've gotten a couple of games of skirmish in with my son, who is 9 and has shown some interest in the game. So I figured skirmish would be the perfect opportunity to sit down with him and teach him basically how to play Age of Sigmar, because that's the beauty of skirmish is it's the exact same mechanics with a slight modification to Battle Shock. And it was a lot of fun. He really enjoyed it. It was easy-ish to teach him. I think if he had any form of attention span, it probably would have been a little easier. But me teaching him how to play it wasn't a YouTuber screaming profanities at the top of his lungs. So maybe that's why I didn't have his attention as much. But
look at you sounding like an old man. You sound like me.
The crap my kids watch on YouTube is embarrassing. Anyways.
That's what I think about what you watch. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another selling point for skirmish and how great the game is for that version of the game is for teaching somebody how to quickly get into it and with little commitment. And it's unfortunate that Shadow War is not that for 40K.
Right.
Because Shadow War I'm sure that if I showed him tanks and all that stuff, he'd probably get even more excited about that.
Well, hopefully the new Necromunda will be.
Yeah, so that would be cool if Necromunda uses the same mechanics. I don't know if it will. They might, because it might have some more in-depth stuff like the old Necromunda did, where you have like levels of buildings and you could roll to fall off buildings and all kinds of. And that might very well be what the Necromunda players want. And it would be cool if you gave these people what they wanted.
Well, really, I kind of think what the Necromunda people wanted was Shadow War Armageddon.
Yeah.
Because that's that rule. I mean, that's the 2nd edition rule set.
For Necromunda, basically.
Yeah. So now they have kind of a blank slate to work with, and I'm really hoping that they do the same thing. Skirmish
40K.
Yeah, Necromunda is to 40K what Skirmish is to AOS.
Right.
If they do that, they'll have a huge winner on their hands.
Or just put out a little booklet like Skirmish was for AOS with just modified rules. Right. I don't think it would take that much now that you have Skirmish to base it off of, and 40K is similar enough to Age of Sigmar without being the same thing. Then I think you could easily put out a 40K Skirmish booklet, and because it would be so cool it's so much easier to teach that than moving around whole units and trying to mentally keep track of an entire army and all that stuff for a 9-year-old or even just like another adult that has never experienced tabletop gaming before. Right. Skirmish is such a great way to be like, let's play this. If you like this, we could play a bigger Skirmish game that has a little more bookkeeping, but not too much. And if you're still on board, then we can start putting some units down and play like 1,000-point AOS game, and we'll go from there. It's beautiful building blocks that hopefully they will put in place for 40K as well. Yeah. So I just kind of wanted to go over that.
And as another segue into the idea of teaching your son Skirmish, just give you guys a heads up that on our next episode, we're going to have Stephen Duell back on, and he's going to talk about the Kid Hammer event at Nova, which from all reports I've heard was just knocked out of the park. So, and he was on a few episodes ago talking about, what it was like to organize stuff for kids at a big tournament like this. And it'll be interesting to catch up with him and see how it actually all worked out.
Definitely.
That'll be coming.
All right. Want to move on to the Realm of Lore.
Yeah.
Realm of Lizor.
The Realm of Lore. Where, oddly enough, we're going to talk about a book that came out to change the game.
Game changer again. But not really.
But, well, I think it did.
Yeah, somewhat.
The new General's Handbook 2017. If you haven't heard about it by now, wow, there's a real issue with you. And you probably shouldn't be listening to us. You should be listening to some quality podcasts.
Right.
But, yeah, what we're not going to do is we're not going to rehash the foibles of the General's Handbook and what it changed, because everybody knows that by now. I think what we're going to do is address how it's going to change the game and where it might have fallen a little bit short. I know there's been just a lot of universal love for the book.
Yeah.
And I'd like to spread some hatred, because
really?
It's my jam.
You're in a bad place right now.
Well, no, not really, because I don't want to make it sound like I'm against the book, or the book is bad, or the game is broken and needed to be fixed, or something like that. I don't want that to be the takeaway from this. But I'm thinking they kind of had like a whiteboard in front of them, and it was all clean, and they had Age of Sigmar, and there was a lot of stuff they could have wrote on that board, and instead they wrote what we got in General's Handbook 2017. And I think they could have gone a little further in spots, and they could have taken some more aggressive stances on things. But maybe they just don't see it as a problem. Maybe only I see it as a problem. Because I still have this feeling about competitive play where I still think competitive play is locked into one mode right now, and that's it.
Competitive?
Well, yeah, and if you're not Tzeentch, you ain't kind of...
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it.
And it's not so much... If you play Tzeentch, you win. If you don't play Tzeentch, you lose. I don't mean that.
Right.
I mean, everything has to be built with Tzeentch in mind.
Yes.
I'm not saying that you can't build a Seraphon army that's going to be great fun in competitive play, or you can't build a Stormcaster or a Fireslayer's army. But you're always in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I have to build this list to handle Tzeentch. And why should it be that way? It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah. I mean, Brian's a perfect example. When he was building his list, he said that was like, he wanted to build a good list he could play a tournament, but the thing keeping him up at night was...
it was Skyfires.
Well, can this compete with Tzeentch? How do I play against Tzeentch? I mean, even me, I'm building new armies, building new lists. I'm building a Slaves of Darkness list.
With air quotes.
Yeah.
But, and I have that for more casual, laid-back games. We're not playing, balls to the wall tournament game.
Just so everybody knows, you have Sal the Faithless in your fun, fluffy,
it is
laid back. Okay, just want everybody to know.
Fluffy Sal, though. Fluffy.
He got nerfed. Totally nerfed.
Yeah.
Totally nerfed.
Who wants to play fun? Whee!
I only have 18.
So I think what you're getting at is
even in that list, I'm still I have a list where it's all Slaves of Darkness. And even though I'm not planning on playing anyone with Tzeentch, I'm still thinking okay, so I got to throw in 3 Skyfires in that list. So in case Gaunt Summoner goes on top of a Veilwind, I can take him out.
Right. Well, so I think what we're getting at here is that, and this is stuff that Dan over at AOS Shorts talks about when you build an army, things you want to keep in mind. And in what the difference is, it's different when you're building an army and you think to yourself, okay, how is this army going to deal with magic? How is this army going to deal with shooting? How is this army going to deal with an alpha strike? Stuff like that. That's fine. Those are things that you should be thinking. The issue here is how is my army going to deal with this one specific build that takes some of those aspects of the game and cranks them up to a level that is, it's ridiculous. Yes, Skyfire's got a bit of a point adjustment, a bit of a tiny point adjustment. They're still hands down the best unit, the best war scroll in the game. No other war scroll in the game does what they can do.
Instead of going for 12, I'm going for 18 now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they shoot better than just about everybody else. They're faster than just about everybody else. When they fight, they get buffs that nobody else gets unless you give them spells or abilities from other units, and they just have that already built into the war scroll. They're insane.
They're independent as all heck.
Yeah, and I know people are probably tired of hearing about Skyfires, but they are still very much an issue at 200 points.
They're the 600-pound gorilla in the room, and that's what you have. And that's why I was getting at is they're the thing you have to think about no matter what list. Like you said, I don't think about how do I deal with shooting? How do I deal with an alpha strike? How do I deal with something that's going to tunnel up behind me? My whole thought is, how do I deal with Skyfires? Because if I can deal with Skyfires, I can pretty much deal with anything else in this game.
Well, but that's also kind of an issue, is that if you build your list specifically to deal with Skyfires, then sometimes you'll inherently leave gaps that other more well-balanced armies can exploit. And so it kind of leaves you in this frustrating limbo of, do I anticipate that I'll be playing a ton of Tzeentch lists and so I'll do okay? Or am I building this to handle one specific army that's a glaring issue? And then I come up against a Fire Slayer, a Sylvaneth, and a Stormcast army that just tear me apart because they operate differently.
I have holes. But my big problem with having to plan against Tzeentch is, when you plan against almost any other army, you also know that there's a probability the Stormcast is going to do this. There's a chance that Star-Fated Arrow might do this. With Tzeentch, you have to look at it and say, it will do this. Because I don't care what he rolls for Destiny dice, he's going to guarantee that these spells are going to go off. And I have no way of impacting his ability to do whatever he wants on any given turn or set of turns. I can't stop. There's no dice rolling involved. He is simply going to do what he wants when he wants to. And he doesn't have that problem on his side of, will I roll high enough to do these things? Will I make the charge? Will I get the spell off? No, he doesn't have to worry. Your opponent playing Tzeentch doesn't have to worry about that because they have their mechanic that says, I do what I want, when I want, with no chance of failure.
Yeah.
So... And I think Russ Veal brought it up on Facehammer when they were talking about the most powerful army in the game, is the Tzeentch removes probability from a game that's based on dice.
Yep.
So they're no fun to play against, and yet you have to... What the General's Handbook did was they nerfed a lot of other... they kind of tore up a lot of other factions.
Some armies got hit pretty hard.
And so instead, I don't think they evened the playing field. I don't think they brought the mid-range armies up and the big, powerful armies down. What they did was they took the big, powerful armies and put them on a plateau and said to everybody else, yeah, you can play. but don't bother trying to win.
I don't know. I think some of the other armies that we weren't really... So a perfect example is Fire Slayers. I totally feel like Fire Slayers are an army that can handle just about anything in the game.
Oh, yeah.
With the benefits that they got with the General's Handbook 2017. And then you start looking at other things like Soul Blight, some of the stuff that Free Company can do, some of the other Order armies that were the old Dark Elves and things like that. I think they got enough of a boost that you will at least see them more often.
Well, I think really what happened is they made everything playable, and I mean they brought everything up to a level that you can seriously have a good time playing just about everything now.
Yeah.
And I mean, the biggest ones, like you said, were the Fire Slayers. I mean, they were kind of, even with those pints adjustments before, they were a little bit more, but like we always have made allusions to before, was they also made that a more expensive army because now the points went down, you have to buy more of them and they're expensive.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, now they're infinitely more playable and their mechanics are much more enjoyable for you to play. Same thing with Iron Jaws. Iron Jaws actually now have a thing that makes them a thing.
Yeah, so when we were doing the Rolling Bad Rumble, some of the people who had gotten the handbook early were kind of like posting little teaser bits about it and everything. And I remember reading Chris Tomlin's stuff on TGA, and it was like his first post. So it was kind of, he went into detail on a little bit of it and was alluding at some of it. And I got really down because it felt like everything we had that made us good was all of a sudden gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were no significant points adjustments. And if you'll remember way back when I talked about doing like a point adjustment submission to GW with some of the other Iron Jaws guys out there, that was my big thing, was because the units in this army are so expensive that if you don't do significant reductions throughout the whole book, it won't matter. And it really doesn't. I mean, the pigs going down to 140 sounds great, but because everything else is still the same cost, it doesn't change what you have on the table. I do like that the Maw Crushes came down.
Yes.
And Gordrak. That helps. But because the cost of the formations went up so significantly, it evens overall, it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
That being said, when I got a full rundown in detail of everything the Iron Jaws got, I am much more excited about them. I have not really had an opportunity to sink my teeth into it yet. I've played one game at 1,500 points.
Against
Chad. And his army, it's not a great army. It's just all...
Vargeist?
No, Crypt Flayers? The flying ones, yeah. It's a themey army that he did. It's fun. It looks great on the table. And we were just, just trying to get a game in. So the only thing that I really got to experience was the new destruction ability, which I don't get at all, where if you roll a 6 or a 4 up on your general, you can either move 6 inches if you're over 12 inches away from an opponent. You can either pile in or you can charge.
Yes.
And I found, now this is just a single game.
Yeah.
So it's almost nothing to work with. But I found in that game, when I did roll those abilities, nothing applied.
Yeah.
Because he was like 10 to 11 inches away, so I couldn't move. But because he's like 10 to 11 inches away, it's almost impossible to charge. And the one unit that I had in combat was over 6 inches away from the guy who rolled the 6, so they couldn't pile in. So I didn't get anything from it.
You always get something. The way it's worded is you're always going to get at least one unit.
I could have charged. That's the only thing I could have done was charge.
Right.
Like a 10 or 11 inch charge in the hero phase. So I didn't get to move. So instead of doing that, I said, well, screw it. I'll just wait till I can move another 4 inches and then have like a 6 inch charge, which is much better. And if I roll high on that, a 10 or 11, which is what I would have needed in the first place, I can wrap more guys into combat.
Sure.
So granted, this is just a single game. I have a feeling, it very much feels like the new Iron Jaws are based almost exclusively around having a Maw Crush as your general.
Yes.
Which I'm fine with because it's by far my favorite model. I love it. I think it got better. much better
And cheaper.
between the points reduction and the artifacts and command traits.
Yeah.
So I think that stuff will work better then because he can just choose himself to pile in and attack again,
exactly.
or something like that. And I have not had a chance to try the new formations, the big army formations. Those are the ones I really want to try because any Iron Jaws player knows that some of our biggest downfalls were battle shock.
Yeah.
And now you can have +2 bravery to your entire army just for putting a realm gate on the table, which is flipping fantastic. It also gives you +2 to charge on everything, which makes the pigs totally viable because now it means you still have to be 8 inches away to get your special charge, but you only need to roll a 6.
Yes.
Which is huge because the number of times I rolled a flipping 7
Sure.
on that roll
When you needed an 8.
When I needed an 8. And now you just get the +1, so even a 7 would work.
Yep.
And then the other one, the rolling a 3 up makes your opponent -1 to hit you for the entire first round. Man, that is, if it goes off, that's pretty hot.
And that's your proof against, alpha strikes, really.
Yeah, it helps you against, potentially helps you a little bit against Zinch.
Yeah.
But ultimately not, because then they just spam you with brimstone horrors and you can't get past them. But anyways, that's...
Face it, nothing hurts Zinch.
Yeah. So anyways, that's my view on Iron Jaws. After I got everything from the Iron Jaws, I'm super positive about them. The points adjustments, I don't like. I mean, I like that the Crusher got cheaper.
Yeah.
That's the one that I agree with. But the fact that the rest of it's kind of offset by the fact that the Iron Fist went up 100 points hurts. So it's like 300 points to take an Iron Fist and the army formation.
Yeah.
Which those big formations give you the stuff you kind of needed all along, but now they're so expensive to put in the army. It's like you almost don't want to take them. But I'm going to try them. I'm going to play some games with both those big formations, try them out, see if they're really worth it. I know Brian Cortez, the guy who took 3rd at LVO with Iron Jaws, 2nd or 3rd.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I can't. Close.
He has been messing around with the list that has no formations. It's just all dudes. And it sounded like he was doing pretty solid with it. So who knows? Definitely. I mean, that's the beauty of the book, is that it flavored the army up enough that it gives it a whole hopefully another 12 months of checking it out.
I think it did that I looked at the Seraphon changes.
Oh, big
and
ones
except
there.
for the one formation, I think everything there was just brilliant. I mean, it actually, in the span of 2 to 3 pages, they made it work like the entire book didn't make them work. I was just like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
They actually made me want to play Seraphon again. Not with that, whatever. I'm super magic, except I can't use magic.
Right, yeah. Well, it made the Slon a viable.
He's beefsteak now.
Yeah, the regular Slon, because everybody would always take Croak.
Yeah.
But Croak is still really good.
He's way good.
But a regular Slon.
A regular Star Master is now a beefsteak guy, which is awesome to have. Yeah. And, it's one of those things where it makes the rest of your army really work. Now when you put the Temple Guard, the Saurus Guard, and the Astrolith Bearer, and all the other things it makes it all synergize together the way it should have in that entire book. But it came out before their ideas about, artifacts and command traits.
Sure. I mean,
it's a well-known update, although I look at that Dracothian Guard formation and I'm just like, why did you waste a page of the book on this? This is so silly. It can't be used. So
why?
The Dracothian Guard formation allows you to you can summon in any unit from the battalion.
Yeah.
Except you can't summon them in because they're not in the battalion. So if you come up against someone who's a rules lawyer who says, "Okay, I understand that you have summoning points, but those points aren't in your battalion, so you can't summon them." So, yeah.
It reads a little weird.
It does.
Really?
It needs like an FAQ.
A rules as verbatim written person will not let you summon anything into that formation or onto that table because you can't have reserve points in a battalion. But it's still, if they just put that...
No, you already... It's not summoning. It's bringing the models from the battalion onto the table.
No, that's not how it reads. It says you can summon them. And that's the problem with it. It says you summon them, which means you use the summoning mechanic. It doesn't say anywhere that you set them up off of the table and, they're in some etheric space that only the dreamers know about. It's a crazy, silly thing, but some rules lawyer is going to say, no, you can't do that, which would make me sad.
In the hero phase, Kumquat, or whatever, Kotex, can cast any number of summoning spells that summon Saurus units to the battlefield,
right?
As long as each unit that he summons comes from this battalion.
Right.
Furthermore, he does not need to make a casting roll in order to cast the spell.
That's correct.
And the opposing player cannot attempt to unbind the spells. Suck on that, Zinch. However, each spell that he casts must summon a different unit chosen from a different war scroll. Kotex cannot cast exactly the same spell more than once per turn.
Right.
For example, in one hero phase, Kotek can summon a Saurus Eternity Warden from this battalion using the Summon Eternity Warden spell and a Saurus Sunblood from this battalion using the Summon Sunblood spell, but he cannot summon two Saurus Eternity Wardens in the same hero phase.
Right.
Okay.
But summoning points,
reserve
points are not part of your army.
They're not part of your army at the start of the game, so you don't have them in your battalion. They're in a separate pool. So you could not... An opponent could look at you and say, yeah, I understand you have summoning points, but that's not in the battalion, so you don't get to do that.
Because you can't have reserve points as part of a battalion.
Yeah.
There's no mechanic in there that says, like he said, put 4 units. You can put X number of units in the ethereal realm or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? This is the kind of crap that...
One sentence would have fixed
No. This is the kind of crap that people find, and then they think they're so smart for finding these tiny little mess ups. And they're like, oh, by the way, you can't play what is so very obviously written a certain way. And I understand, because I've always been a very much rules as written versus rules as intended kind of person. But this is so blatant what this is supposed to do.
Yes.
That if you come up against a person that doesn't let you play this formation the way it's supposed to be, pity them, because they're sad little people. You understand how pathetic of a moron you got to be to really be like, look what I found. Games Workshop. Oh, I've caught you now, haven't I? Haven't I? Obviously, you don't playtest your games.
That's what I was getting for.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous.
I'm so glad.
It's the same thing. Okay, and this is a slightly different one. This was brought up to me by Sean Hobbyhammer. yeah. Because with Beastmen, with Brayherd, you get Braystone, right? The Braystone states that when you put your general down, you put the stone out. But if you put your general in ambush, you don't get the stone because he is technically deployed in ambush, which is like this pseudo realm.
Weird place, yes.
So but the way the fluff is described the background is described for Hearthstones is it's basically like a shard that he runs around with. And then when they go into battle, he throws it down on the ground. It sprouts into this thing that drives the Brayherd crazy and gets them all riled up.
Yeah.
He basically goes around and blows cocaine in all their noses real quick before they jump into battle. So why wouldn't he? It's this one is a little different than this.
I know, but it's the same kind of esoterica that a jerk will pull. However, this isn't just me saying this, by the way. This has been around the pike for a while. Since the book came out, this has been a point of contention as to whether or not you can summon anything with that battalion. So
yeah, whatever. I'm so over it. There are things. The problem is there are some stuff that very obviously needs FAQs, like the whole Blades of Corn issue that we were talking about that you and Ryan had to point out to me.
So, yeah, with allegiances, because allegiances are based on keywords, but allies are based on factions. Yeah. And so can you if you're not following, if you're keeping your allegiance abilities with a keyword, you're not falling under a certain faction, can you actually ally in stuff like Slaves to Darkness with a keyword or whatever, or can you even take allies at all, because technically that mechanic is reserved for keywords.
That's a glaring issue of where the General's Handbook kind of went against the Army book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Blades of Corn was anything with corn is all Blades of Corn.
Yes.
But
that's how you get your allies in.
Right. But the General's Handbook split Mortals and Varangard, and there's all kinds of stuff that has the mark of corn spread throughout different factions that don't fit with Blades of Corn, and they should, because it's corn.
Or you can take, or if you want to take a Nurgle Slaves to Darkness guy, you can't, even though they can ally with Corn, Bloodbound can ally in, or Blades of Corn can ally in with them. If you have one model that's not in the Blades of Corn, you're not that faction. So can you ally? I mean, I think they said they're going to address it in an article or something.
But these are the things that, like, oh, okay, look, there's a bit of a slip up. I think we know what it's supposed to be, but can we get a thing on that? Whereas, like, that Seraphon formation, it's like when you're spamming him with stupid crap like that, saying like, hee, guess what I found, like
the Balewind and the Lord of Change.
That was very obvious.
No, I know. It was very obvious. Like, people were like, it doesn't say I can't.
Technically, hee, I'm so clever. Like, no, you're a gimp. But, yeah, it's...
Well, you want to hear the great question I had posed to me was, since a lot of Seraphon have the demon keyword, can they ally with Blades of Corn? But that one...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't... Because the whole Grand Alliance shuts that down.
You would think.
Oh.
But...
Well, they don't have the... It's not... they don't have the corn keyword.
That's right. They don't have the corn keyword, and also...
their faction is not...
They have the... what's his name? What are they? There's actually a caveat to that. They're not just demons. It's not just the demon keyword. I think it says Seraphon demon or something, celestial demon or something.
Yeah.
So they're not the same. But somebody asked me, and I didn't have my book handy, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know. That would be weird.
But I think overall, our impressions, I like it. I like the new mission, the new scenarios.
Yeah. You mean the same scenarios?
Whatever.
The same scenarios with really good changes.
Yeah, they're tweaked. They're better.
Way better.
They're still the same scenarios.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
But that's the whole thing, though, is I think that was a really great idea. Rather than just 6 brand new way out there, build on what you have and make... Really what they did to these armies was they made them change the way you build your armies.
Do they, though? I mean, because I know we're talking about this hashtag horde meta.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
That's what I wanted to touch on. AOS has always been about most models around an objective.
Yeah.
These scenarios, I know everyone's focusing on, you're going to have 20 models. Like, no, there's a reason everyone was playing small elite armies before.
Yeah.
It was because that's what works efficiently. And I think this whole horde meta thing is going to be over, and everyone's going to be like, oh, well, yeah, there's a reason we don't push around a whole bunch of base troops that 4s and 5s to hit and wound, and 1 wound with a 6-up save. Oh, yeah, there's a reason we don't do that.
That horde meta is going to work out until some Stormcast player dusts off their decimators and strikes them down and takes off.
Just goes, hey, look, you 30, don't have a horde anymore.
Yeah, 30 Moon Clan in 1 round of combat. And they're like, oh, yeah.
I think the scenarios looked really, really cool, and they favor a different sort of list mentality in some of them, and to be flat out, some of them just fix problems with the old missions. Some of them are just better versions of the earlier missions.
Sure, so. Yeah, I like them, and I like the new one. The I don't know, where the 6 objectives, you can burn them for extra points, and I like that. That's really. Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
And that, anytime you throw more decision points out there that are big like that, game changing like that, it's good.
Let's talk about that mission real quick, because I know it came up on Twitter. that some Alpha Strike armies can get on your objectives quickly and burn them right away. And then there's like no chance of you winning. You basically lose turn one before you even get to play.
Well, I can see you doing that with Stormcast.
Yeah, and Murder Host was a big one. Yeah. So, and some people's response was learn to play better. So that's not a viable response to something like, to an issue where it becomes such a non-game like that.
Yeah.
Because there's some TOs that I have changed it where you can't burn anything on the first turn.
Right.
And I don't know if that's what kind of results that's garnered. I don't think we've had a whole lot of tournaments that have used the new, I know Blackout used it.
Heard it.
And I'm sure there's I don't think, did Nova use them? You'd think I know.
I don't think so.
No. So, but I just kind of want to talk about the whole, like, learn to play better mentality. Okay. Like, just because Games Workshop obviously playtests their stuff.
A lot.
Okay. We know that there are playtesters in the community that go in, plus they do a ton of in-house playtesting as well. It doesn't matter, though, how many people they have in their playtesting. When you unveil this stuff to the general public, you're going to have people that either intentionally are going into it to try to break it, or just stumble across this stuff. I used to work for Blizzard, and when new raids and, new expansions would come out, but raids were always the big thing because it was such a serious aspect of the game. There would be people that came in, guilds, that would come in and playtest this stuff in beta and try to break it or try to go through it, see, if it worked. And it did not matter how much stuff like that happened. Within the first 24 hours of that expansion going live, people would break the crap out of everything in that expansion. And we have to shut down the servers for a little while, fix stuff, whatever. And that's, obviously easier to fix than, because it's all digital. You can do it instantly, stuff like that. But so, I mean, what would happen? What would happen if you did a raid in World of Warcraft? You spent all this time with a raiding guild getting it ready, and then you went to fight the final boss, and he did some special attack that had some glitch in the code, and everybody like fell through the floor.
Yeah.
And then was just stuck in limbo and had to wait for a game master to come teleport them out. And then Blizzard's response was, learn to play better.
Learn to play better.
Really?
Yeah.
Kind of half-ass response crap is that? No, it's not. There's a glitch. There is an issue that was not foreseen at first and now has been seen, and perhaps we should do something to address it.
It needs to be addressed. But if you're that kind of person that is saying learn to play better, chances are you're either at a level where you see that sort of stuff, as it just, you normally see that kind of stuff, whereas other people don't. And it's second nature for you to see into that stuff. And it's in your mindset that says, oh, I've already anticipated that kind of stuff. Whereas the other, 90% of us, we don't even think of things like that when we see them. We can see the exact same. You talked about how the playtesters, they had an army of playtesters for this book. And we know the names of the playtesters. We know these guys aren't slouches. They're not losers. They know what they're doing. And stuff still slips by. Sure. Because they're not approaching it from every single angle, mindset.
They don't get to play every single army. They don't get to,
exactly.
Even if you had 20 playtesters playing a game a week and you were playtesting it over 3 months, you're going to get more, you're going to get a larger data pool the first day the book is released to the general public than you would from all that playtesting. Yep. So you have to make adjustments based on that. And that's
it. I never beef about problems I see in books like this because of things, that Jacothian thing. It'll be fixed with a single sentence in a fact that comes out soon, whenever.
Sure, yeah.
The Ring of Invisibility. We went, how...
Ring of Resurrection.
Immortality.
Yeah, Immortality. That's the one, yeah.
What did I say?
Which now, if you read the item, it shows that was their intention. Me and Bill were right.
Yes.
Okay, just saying.
So, but it was it was fixed with a one word, a one sentence blurb. Boom, done. Argument over. There's no need. And that's the beauty of this GW is all these things get fixed lickety-split. It's not like it used to be where we wait a year and a half, for something to get fixed. So
Definitely.
I'm not too worried.
So quick thing though. I think there's 2 ways. There's an easy way to fix this.
Okay.
The scorched one. Well, the problem is the objectives are on the 12-inch line.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Oh, so
either you move the objectives back to like the 9 or 6-inch.
Yeah.
And that prevents the murder host from charging you turn 1.
you can at least throw a few
You
bodies on the
throw
way.
bodies in front, and they can't. They're not within 3 inches of the objective, so they can't burn it. Or the other thing is kind of along the lines of play better. Don't set up on the 12-inch line. Don't set up within 3 inches of the objective. Or if you're setting your stuff up 6 inches from your back line, I'm pretty sure it's really super hard for the murder host to charge you that far back.
They don't need to charge your units. They just run up and blow up your objectives.
But you said they're moving 46. That's with the charge, though, right?
No. They move 2d6 before the game starts, and then they move 2d6 in their hero phase. If they have the full 8 units. They're faster than Iron Jaws used to be, and Iron Jaws could have made it to you in the first time like that.
So never mind then.
Yeah.
So it's just moving it back then.
Probably. And if you move it back, though,
or you can't blow them up on the first turn.
Yeah, well, moving it back.
Which is like that. It's like
that
on
the same thing.
Yeah, I mean it's like that in all the other objectives. It says start scoring turn 3, or the comets or whatever they are drop turn 2 and 3.
I think they're better off with saying you can't blow them up on turn 1. That's it. Because if you move them backwards, then you're basically saying to slow armies, you'll never get them.
Yeah, there's some armies that are damn slow.
Damn slow.
That don't have viable options to, like if you played a dispossessed I guess you could try to get gyrocopters across the table. But yeah, there's some armies that would struggle, I think. So having them on the 12 is fine, because if you couldn't blow them up on turn 1, it at least gives you a chance to try to kill 90 bloodletters. Which, sure, you can laugh, but there's armies that will have no problem killing 90 bloodletters. Bloodletters are squishy as hell. Yeah. So, and generally if they're able to move that far, they're going to have to like conga line. They're not all going to get the crazy buffs from the key units, because the key units will be too far back. And you can just generally kill. I'm not that worried about a murder host in general play. It's just if that murder host can use its first turn move to essentially seal the game and then just throw away 90 bloodletters. Yeah. Which is only like half the army.
Your response really should not be play better. Your response should be, we need to take a look at that.
Yeah. So.
There's always going to be things that slip through. So, as far as the match play section of the book goes, I think, my reservations about Tzeentch still apply.
Okay, so just for a little devil's advocate, because there's going to be people that think this.
I'll play better.
Why not just learn to play better against Tzeentch?
Because it doesn't matter. Since they don't have to roll dice to do what they want, since they don't have to rely on some probability mechanic to allow them to do the things they want to do, whereas everyone else does, they're going to implement whatever they want whenever they want.
No.
So that takes that whole thing away.
Right, but the results of the Destiny dice are not guaranteed.
Sure.
So therefore, they don't always guarantee that you can get what you want. I don't buy any of this crap, but I know there's probably people out there that would.
But in truth, I would say that I don't care what number you roll. You could roll 9 2. Well, 9 2s might be the worst. But you could roll 9 3s and be casting your spells with just impunity. Fine. You could roll 9 1s and just go, come at me, bro. The more you do, the more
my horrors are never going to go away. Yeah.
And, 4 5s and 6s, forget it. You're just dead.
Yep.
So, if I'm smart enough, good enough, and, I can read, and, I'm have an IQ of 12 or higher, I know what formations to take so that I never run out of Destiny dice. I never have that point in the game where, oh, gosh, I'm out of Destiny dice now. So, that's why I would say you can't say play better.
Would you say, James, that there is a combination within that book where you would essentially never run out of Destiny dice?
Some people have said it. It's easier,
but it's not a good
on
formation.
paper. Yeah, it's easier on paper. I've tried the that Oracle's omniscient thing or whatever, and
it's
really hard to build, especially now with the point increases and stuff like that. I don't think it would be viable.
Okay.
I mean, I remember like one of the Australian guys talking about trying to get a list that he would never run out of Destiny dice. It just regenerate itself. Mm-hmm. In practice, I've found it seems good on paper. In real practice, it doesn't.
Yeah, but the Destiny dice are only so good if the units that you're using them on aren't aren't efficient. Right. Well, is that kind of like what you're getting at?
You have to have the Skyfires and the Zangor.
Yeah, which you're not fitting all that stuff. I mean, and plus, it's a spell that you're using, so it's easy to kill that one guy with the spell, because if he's casting that, he's not casting Treacherous Bond or something else.
Yeah. Fold reality.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to take him out, and with a Tzeentch, especially now with the changes to the Tzeentch spell list, where actually most of the spells are viable now instead of like half of them. In the Tzeentch list, you're trying to output as many mortal wounds as you can.
Sure.
And so when I took it, I found a lot of time I wasn't using it because I was like, well, it's like a 6 or 7 to cast. I might get another Destiny dice back.
Yeah.
Or I could be doing D3, D6 mortal wounds to this unit that I need to kill. And it kind of just fell by the wayside. I mean, it's like one model, or the formation where you generate them or whatever, or the items. It's like, on a 6, I get back a Destiny dice. It's like, oh, okay. Like, how often are you going to roll?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
6s.
All right. So,
I'm not sitting here forecasting doom and gloom, and it's all. I mean, if it was as bad as I make it out to be, there would be no other winners of tournaments other than Tzeentch. So, and I'm sure we've pretty much seen that's not the case.
There are armies that can. Well, it comes back to the whole thing we were talking about. Like, you can make an army designed to deal with Tzeentch, or you can play Stormcast, which it kind of like inherently has the ability to deal with Tzeentch as well as other armies. And if you keep coming up against that army, it's like that. What was it, Heat? Was it Heat 3? What was that tournament that Seraphon player was like?
It was Heat 3.
Was it?
Was it 3 or 2?
No, it was 3, where he was like way up towards the top, and it was because he kept playing Blades of Khorne and Disciples of Tzeentch, like
he was just
smashing extra damage against demons. You could get lucky like that, where so many people see the easy button with Tzeentch, so it's so predominant that if you do design a list to deal with that, there's a good chance that you'll get there, as long as you don't come up against the paper to your rock.
Yeah.
So that still exists. I'm kind of mixed because like I don't want to crap too hard on Z. Man, really, it's just Skyfires.
They fix a lot of it with the formation. They fix the change host. They tone down my favorite one, the Eternal Conflagration,
right?
Which I'm sad about. So they toned down a lot of the formations.
Well, some of the formations got like 170 point jump.
They're expensive, and they tone down the abilities of the formations.
Sure. Yeah,
and then they toned down the changing a little bit. They made it more clear or whatever.
Well, they just made it to where again this is what they intended. They never intended.
Yeah, and then
but he's still stupid good.
He's still super good. I mean, the army is still really good. And like if he builds, they were saying it's like the easy button where you can take you can take a low level player and they can play in that upper middle table range.
Hit the top table, but
they'll get to that.
You'll jump right to the middle tables easy,
or upper middle tables easy. Yeah.
Yeah, but then what do you do when good players grab the army?
Well,
it's like this is great.
I mean, they're still strong. Like I said, I'm taking more Skyfires than ever.
But I think that's the issue. Is a Skyfire.
No,
I think even if Skyfires were 280 points for 3, you would still see Skyfires.
Not as many, but
right. Not as you wouldn't see 18
because you still need that.
You'd still see like 6 running around with a shaman because they just do everything you need them to do.
Yeah.
So that's going to kind of wrap up our look at the match play section. There's a lot to love and there's a lot to question and wonder about, but I mean, it's still it's match play. It's competitive. You always got to be thinking. You always got to be on your game. So there's other parts of this General's Handbook that, I don't know, some people might have missed. Because there's a whole open play section and there's a whole narrative play section that actually got some significant upgrades, I think. I don't know if you guys read them at all, James.
What's narrative play?
And Elric's got his face in his phone, so.
What?
There's 2 other sections of the book. Like, there's open play and there's narrative play.
What are those?
Yeah, okay.
Is narrative play where I found 2 hell cannons in a forest?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was narrative.
Portals.
In a portal?
Portals,
portal? Yeah. That's narrative play.
So, yeah, in those sections, I mean, they didn't add, they revamped and brought back the triumph and treachery rules. Much, much more simplified now. You have, different stratagems that you can use. So the triumph and treachery basically is multiplayer games.
Yeah.
And can be multiple games where you're going to use treachery points, you're going to gain points, lose points, and what have you. And you're going to use cards and stratagems sort of to enable your opponent to lose in a better fashion. So, yeah, you use the cards to screw somebody.
Plus siege rules.
Yeah, there's siege rolls in the open play section. Of course, the open war cards are addressed in that section of the book as well. And then there's the Coalition of Death stuff. I don't know if you guys looked through that.
Not quite.
At all. So it's team games. It's basically putting together team games. So they really did address a whole bunch of different ways to play. Yeah. And you can tell, even though the match play section of the book is much, much bigger than it was in the last book, they've taken out all of the books that we have now. The Path to Glory stuff is all gone. A lot of the other silly stuff they don't put the rules. I noticed the rules to the game are not in this book.
Oh yeah, the 4 pages of rules.
Yeah, the 4 pages of rules. So that saved 4
pages. Yeah.
So they added quite a bit to the narrative and the open play sections, which I thought was really cool.
We've got rules for playing in all 8 realms now.
Yeah, the awesome. Different. And now they also, I don't know if you saw the stream game with Ben Curry with his Legion of Asgore. He actually used the mechanic there of before the game, both players have to agree on a time of war or the realm that they're going to be in. And of course, it was important to Ben. Yeah. Because with his Legion of Asgore, he really wants to be in the realm of fire. Yeah. So he actually ended up winning that, and he got the benefit of it. So
that's cool.
It's a good thing for people to take away from those sorts of stream games, and a player of Ben's quality looking at something like that and going, yeah, this is something I need. This is an extra edge. So, see what I did there? Ben has an extra edge.
No, Bill, I didn't see what you did there.
Look, I haven't had a pun for like 2 months. Leave me alone, man.
All right, well.
So overall, what are our impressions of the General's Handbook 2017? I know mine are very positive. I do believe it changed the game again. I think it could have gone a little further, a little more, but I'm not terribly, upset with where it's at. I think it's really cool, and it opens up a bunch more possibilities.
Yeah. I am probably the most, I don't know if I want to say satisfied, most excited maybe about how a lot of other older factions got special rules. Yes. Soulblight, Dispossessed, Fireslayer's got all kinds of cool stuff finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanderers.
Wanderers. A lot of cool stuff like that. I'm very happy that's all in there. The point stuff, that's the beauty of this whole General's Handbook thing. Exactly. Is if the points turn out to be a little out of whack, then 2018, who knows? They get adjusted again or something like that. That's the great thing about this kind of stuff. So I'm not too worried about the points other than Skyfires, but whatever, that's always going to be a thing. Yeah, I'm super pumped about the General's Handbook 2017.
Yep.
James?
Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
They brought everyone up. Like I've been saying, feels good. You can break out those Wanderers and Slaves to Darkness and other little guys.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even touch on allies. Our views on allies.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's a huge thing.
It really is huge. I mean, it's huge for me. It's huge for you with your Iron Jaws. You with your Tzeentch, not so much. But what about with yours? Would you ally
in a formation?
Hey.
It works, yeah.
It works.
Yeah, no, I think one of the cool things about the allies thing is like some of those weird factions like Gargunts.
Yeah.
That's just one thing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, it's easier to slot that into a synergistic army now.
Sure.
You can just...
Or if you just have them and you want to use them, you can bring them in.
Or your Iron Jaws have shooting now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's another big thing I want to talk about, or want to play with. And in that 1,500 point game, I took a stone thrower that missed every turn. So again, that game is probably not the best example of the changes. But
is it Iron Jaws or is it you?
Yeah. But the next, when I get to play a 2,000 point game, I'll very likely try 2 bolt throwers. I think the bolt throwers or spear chuckers are going to be more viable. There's some other stuff that I want to try. Obviously, the rogue idol.
Yeah.
Just because he's so cool. Maybe some giants. Maybe another one that I saw on the Iron Jaws page on Facebook. Somebody throwing in the troll hag, the Forge World troll hag in there, and I thought, I didn't even think about that. So, it's a big, big tough wizard. She's no slouch. So, yeah.
I'm really jazzed because I'm looking at Seraphon with some Liberators.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's going to be a non-squishy front end for them. I'm just loving that idea.
Cool.
Yeah. I think the Allies thing is really... and, we always talked about how they were going to need to do something to make more faction-specific armies. And I think, really, the Allies rule... The initial impression that I got when I was where I was, people were talking about how... Well, that's just going to make it to where now people are going to be cherry-picking from every book. And I'm like, no, not really, because now you're going to have an army that is specific and only has 400 points of something else.
That makes me up one point we wanted to talk about. Do we think the new allegiance abilities are good enough to incentivize you to take a single allegiance instead of a overall?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of the
big overall Grand Alliance?
Grand Alliance.
I know, looking at that Seraphon, I would not want to lose that for anything. I mean,
sure.
The ability to dispel, or, to unbind anywhere on the board? Yeah.
Yeah, I think...
Kind of big.
I can't really think of any that would get better.
Slaves of Darkness.
Are they better with...
They're better with... You still take them.
Chaos.
So, the way I've been playing them is you take them for... The nifty thing is you take the Slaves of Darkness, or the Slaves of Darkness Legions for the Chariots being battle line.
Okay.
It's a cheap 80-point battle line that you can throw in that you probably had a ton of before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you still give them the Chaos. I think the Chaos abilities, Allegiance abilities, and items are better than what they have now.
Oh, okay.
I think that's about the only one I've seen where maybe Flesh.
Oh, Flesh Eater Court?
Are they? I
think they only gained stuff.
They gained stuff? Okay.
Yeah, because they didn't have anything before. They didn't have artifacts. They didn't have...
Right.
Okay.
All that
Well,
stuff.
does it negate them taking like a Mongol in their army? Is the Mongol going to do more for you than those allegiance abilities?
I don't know.
But see, that's just it. You can take the Mongol and still be...
He can't ally in there with them.
Yeah.
He's not an ally?
Nope.
They're not.
No.
Well, scrap that list. Oh, well. So my death list just not only died because it fell off a shelf, it died because I can't take it anymore.
Well, there you go. But I think, stuff like Soul Blight and Dispossessed, Wanderers, Fire Slayers, definitely. I think those are all factions you would take.
Because that feels like what they were trying to do, right? They were trying to make you take a single allegiance.
Yeah.
Instead of cherry picking.
You play Wanderers instead of Order.
Yeah.
And if you want to add a little bit of something else in, then that's okay. Here's a couple options for you.
And when you look at it, the Allies rules are the perfect response to the mixed lists that were so bogus, where every Order list you saw had a Celestial Huracanum in it, because there's no reason not to take it.
Yeah.
It's simply dumb not to take it. Now, you have to very specifically want to have it.
If you even can.
Yeah, if you can.
If it's
a available ally.
Or you just take general Order.
Well, and then you lose everything.
Yeah.
So, well, except for basic Order. But I do, to your original question, James, I think the faction abilities do make it more feasible to be a solo faction with an ally rather than just picking and choosing from the book. But time will tell. We'll see. When some of those guys start playing their mixed lists, we'll see what happens. against, these faction specific. Who knows?
Yeah, so there you have it. Kind of our views on General Handbook 2017.
I think overall, letter grade wise, I would give it an A-.
Yeah?
Only because there's just some things that needed to be dealt with, I think, that weren't specifically. So.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'd give it an A. I mean, I think it does, everything that you could want a General's Handbook to do, to be honest. Yeah, and more. So I think it would have been cool to see a little bit more for destruction, because Iron Jaws are the only destruction army that's in there.
Yeah.
So we didn't get anything for like Moon Clan.
Well, BCR got nerfed, so.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Talk about still waiting for the We Slay Dragons podcast after.
Yeah. But yeah, they could have done Moon Clan or Spider Fang or
I'm kind of surprised they didn't, unless, of course, that might mean that they're in the offing,
What do you mean?
It might be that come January, February, we see those books.
Oh, that they'll actually release a Battletome Moon Clan.
Yeah, because if you got Allegiance Village, you're not seeing anything in the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to get Dan over at Tales of Sigmar? Trying to get his hopes up? That,
I'm not. I'm just saying that.
Or, and I'm just throwing this out there, they're axing Moon Clan as an army. They're going to get the Bretonian treatment.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I think that's where they're going. They're going to get squatted.
Oh, wow.
No more Moon Clan. I think because it's just not a family-friendly army. They, it's heavy drug use with the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Animal abuse with their pet squigs. Sure. It just doesn't.
It's an aesthetic we probably don't want. In
a
game. Yeah.
If anything, it's worse than Slaanesh.
Sure.
By far. Because we should be embracing our sexuality, but we shouldn't be.
Sex on TV is easy.
Yeah, but just sit there blown out of your mind on mushrooms, tripping balls.
Yeah.
Kicking your dog. That's awful. Really.
Terrible.
Let's do away with Moon Clan.
Pretty sure, yeah.
I think we could all be better for it.
Well, no,
or they're getting a Battletome. Who knows? But
they could be getting a Battletome. Who knows? So, that was it for... Oh, James, did you want to give it a letter grade? I'm sorry.
Everyone gave it an A, so I had to give it a B+.
Ooh.
You hipster, you. Why? Why do you want to be so different?
I have to be.
Oh.
No, like I said, I think they didn't go far enough with Skyfires.
So that warrants a whole letter grade? I would agree, but...
Well, I think they didn't address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Not just
because I'm still playing Tzeentch after this.
And that was never the point, though, is to take away your army.
No, but I'm still playing pretty nasty.
It didn't affect your list build that much, other than to give you more
I'm dropping
Skyfires.
One unit of Sky... Or, yeah, I'm either taking more Skyfires, or I'm taking one less Skyfire, but I'm still getting all my toys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I don't know. I don't know if
that's not an option for a lot of the other. I
don't know if 3 Skyfires, dropping 3 Skyfires from my list.
Yeah, and let's not forget you have your Destiny dice. So.
Yeah, well, yeah. Whereas armies like Stormcast, since all their
formations,
Stormcast
didn't get nerfed either, and
their formations got hit pretty hard.
Yeah,
and they get a lot of power from those formations.
They do, but they're still. They're, I think, one of the ones that went underneath the radar. That's going to be, like Facehammer said, they're going to be the new.
Like I've been saying for over a year.
We've been saying that when the new Stormcast, we were like, oh my god, they're so like, no, they're still really, really good.
Yeah,
and I think they have that perception. They don't have the same perception as Tzeentch, where Tzeentch has got that bad rap of like it's an unfun game, blah 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 blah. Whereas Stormcast still do the same thing. They just
nobody does what Skyfires do. Nobody does that.
Well, and that's the thing. Stormcast in the hands of a good player, like, when Andrew plays Stormcast, it's not a fun game if you're on the other side.
Yeah, Tyler figured that out.
Yeah. Wow, you are just all over Tyler.
Yeah, you thought I was over it, didn't you?
Evidently not. He holds grudges.
Yeah.
He has a book. I've seen it. Yeah, it's in the hands of a good player. Stormcast are going to rip your face off and, kind of make a defecation in the hole that's remaining. There's not a lot of armies that can say that. I'm in the hands of a good player, in the hands of a Russ Veal and stuff like that. You can take almost any list and it will become good. But
almost any.
The average guy can pick up Tzeentch and become a mid-table guy right away. Average guy picks up Stormcast. He does not jump to the mid-tables until he studies and learns that army and kind of figures out the center and how you can make those things work together.
Right, because, yeah, I mean, a Star Dragon with
Mirror
Shield and the stupid Defender and Staunch Defender and a bunch of Drakos. That's really hard to figure out.
Lantern.
Well,
and being able to teleport around the board.
You're right. So an average guy
deep strike straight into combat. Yeah, that's
that's tough.
I really got to study for this exam, huh?
Okay, so you're right. Stormcaster broke. Jeez, forgot about that. I gotta go buy some Scud. I told Chad
you have Stormcast right here, Bill. Get on the bandwagon.
Yeah, that's exactly why I will not build or play them.
You're intentionally going to gimp yourself.
Yes.
Until you go to LVO at the team tournament and you take 9 Skyfires, 20 Horrors, and a Shaman for your 1,000 points for the team tournament.
Yeah.
And then Ryan does the same thing.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys.
It'll be super fun. And you guys will be like,
fluffy.
When you go to the tables, you're like, hey, this is fun. Yay. And then you smash everybody.
Well, it's competitive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I will not be taking 9. I will not even be taking a single Skyfire. I might take one just to, throw on the table and smash. But
Have you guys figured out what you're taking yet?
Not yet.
You schmucks. You're going to wait until you're going to wait 2 weeks before it, then have James paint it.
Yeah.
Like an idiot.
And then we won't have any experience playing it together.
Right.
So we'll make complete fools out of ourselves at a tournament. Yes.
Well, great job, holding up that Rolling Bad banner.
It's, we do our part.
Yeah. Anyways,
one last thing I wanted to mention in the realm of lore, and this was something that showed up on Twitter not too long ago. Does anybody remember Rob Symes? Yeah, he's the guy that kind of won South Coast GT once. Oh, and he was the presenter for the longest time on Warhammer TV. Well, he made mention that he missed all of us, and he's coming back. He didn't say how or in what manner, but stay tuned, because Rufio there might be coming back doing something pretty cool. We don't know what, but I hope it's cool.
I also wanted to mention real quick, so Josh Reynolds just released the book, The 8 Lamentations, Spear of Shadows. Mm-hmm. If you haven't read it yet, do. It is a very, very good book, and it doesn't deal with Stormcast, which I was happy about. And so I was kind of talking with Josh via Twitter and about like how book sales and social media hype and stuff kind of affect what gets picked to be written by Black Library. So, because he made mention that he has some ideas going forward for the rest, because it's meant to be a big series. These characters are meant to go out and try to find all the 8 Lamentations and stuff like that, which I was super excited for, because they're very interesting characters. They're very compelling characters. But apparently Black Library has not greenlit another book to be written on this. What I want to do is, and I'm just springing this on the guys right now.
Hashtag
so this
get
is fun.
Started.
Yeah. Oh, hey, it maybe worked on actually getting us to get started Fire Slayer's box. So social media works. Obviously we can't buy like 100,000 copies of the book like some political garbage and get Homeboy thrown up on the New York Times bestseller and then just give them all to Dollar Trees. But what we can do is give away a copy. So I think that's what we're going to start doing. One of the things we're going to add every month is we're going to give away an Age of Sigmar Black Library book just to generate more hype for the Age of Sigmar side of Black Library. I want more of these books. They're getting really good now. The Spear Shadows was great. City of Secrets was fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to jump into Plague Garden, which I hear is really good. Alexander Nygaard did a review of it on his podcast, Fjordhammer. So I want as a community, if you guys are into these books, we need to get this going more. Let Black Library know that this is what we want. You know, they just moved over their stuff to Audible.
Yes.
Which is something we didn't mention in the Realm of Dawn, but is awesome because it just makes their stuff more accessible.
So much more accessible now.
But it's not all available there. And even if it was, they've stopped doing audiobooks for Age of Sigmar. They made it like halfway through the Realm Gate Wars series and stopped doing them, which is frustrating for a guy like me because that's generally the only way I can consume these books because of work and stuff like that is through audio format. And I don't always want to hear about Space Marines, you know, and that seems to be what a lot of the audio stuff that
you mean Stormcast?
No, I'm talking 40K and 30K.
Oh, okay.
It's like those are the only things they make,
yeah.
And it's always revolved around the Horus Heresy and stuff like that.
Yes, indeed.
And I like those, but I like to change it up and have some, you know, swords and sorcery stuff going on too.
Yes.
And the only way that stuff's going to get made is if we consume it.
That's right.
And let the company know we want more. So we're going to do our part. We'll figure out some form of a contest every month, perhaps, I don't know, some fan fiction or I don't know. We'll have more details on that, and we'll be giving away copies of the books to sending those out to people. So, yeah, I just wanted to, if you haven't read the book, do it. It's fantastic. And there is a short story called Auction of Blood that leads into it as well.
Cool.
So.
Oh, so we're going to give away the actual book, not the electronic copy that we pirated. Oh, so this is going to cost us money. Gotcha.
It is.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. Okay.
We're going to have to pay for what we enjoy, Bill.
Oh, damn. Okay, sure. Yeah, great.
Don't give away all our secrets. I'm just kidding. But yes, definitely.
I'll run off a few copies of the book. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, GW. Please.
Oh, here it comes.
I would never and have never pirated your stuff.
All right.
So, except for that one thing that I made a mold of and cast one time. I'm sorry.
Archeon?
Yeah.
It's all just one big one big green stuffed blob of Archeon.
Yeah.
All right. Enough. I think we rambled on enough.
Yeah, I think
come back and have our first show.
Right.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
We'll be on our regularly scheduled
2-week schedule.
Every 2 weeks. If you missed us, if you didn't, then you're not listening and we don't care.
Yeah, and since you weren't listening anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there.
Next time we're going to hopefully have the guys from Nova Open.
Yeah.
We know we're going to have Stephen Duell talking about Kids Hammer. We're going to work that out over the next week. And hopefully we'll have some of the other guys from Nova to talk about the event. And we'll also probably be talking more about Firestorm next time.
And our little 40K side project.
Yes, our side project.
That we're going to be doing.
Yes.
Not another podcast. That's not
No, that's not
No. Not, we won't be doing that kind of stuff. But yeah. I think we're good.
That's it.
Later.
Bye! That's good. I like that. That's staying.
And now for something completely different.
So the Earth is flat. The sun is really only like 3,500 miles away.
Oh, my.
And really small. And it's about the same size as the moon. And the moon is about the same distance. And the sun doesn't actually go around to the backside of whatever the flat Earth is. It just travels far enough away on the planet that you no longer see light from it. Kind of like if you were in a giant room and had a candle and you just went far enough away that the light couldn't make it to me anymore, but it's still there. Everything revolves around the flat Earth, the sun, the moon, the stars, everything like that. Satellites don't actually exist. It's all a lie from NASA. That's why you can't launch anything into space without permission from NASA, and they take over everything.
Okay.
So you can't trust anything that they say.
Okay.
So my problem is, okay, so, and then why? Why would the powers that be, whoever this governing entity is that wants to keep the lessers trapped, why build the ice wall, and what is on the other side? It's not for me to know, it's for them to know and us to find out.
I have flown over both poles. Magnetic poles, anyway. Just so that we could, as an air crew, watch the compass do that really cool thing where it doesn't know where you are for a little while, and then it's like, oh, okay. You reach a
did
point.
that with permission from the government. So you saw what they wanted you to see before you took off because they already knew where you were going.
So for a moment I was almost there.
Right? Is that not?
Yeah.
Come on, Bill. Come on, Bill. Catch up.
I know.
If you tried that in your own plane, you wouldn't have
been able to do it. Okay, gotcha.
Saucer would have come down and shot, but not from outer space.
My life is
because it couldn't be more than 3,500.
That's true.
Miles away, past the sun. That's just crazy.
Well, that was really horrible.
Oh, you're always complaining!
Hot pocket. Hot pocket.
I apologise for that. I think you'll find this a bit more interesting.
Yeah, but we don't blame things on male hurricanes, only female hurricanes.
Did you just assume the gender of my hurricane?
Yes, I did.